Hi friends, this is Bilal Heather and this is the 16th part of the video series, and in this video part we are going to talk about transform component of GameObjects. Okay, so before we go ahead and talk about transform component of GameObjects, we must talk about GameObjects itself. So whatever object you create in Unity is called a game object, whether it's a camera, a, a directional light, a cube, a sphere, a character which has guns. The guns themselves, all of them are called game objects. Okay, so and every game object has one component which is attached to every single game object is called transform, which you will be able to see when you select a game object under hierarchy. um, it will appear under inspector here. Okay, under inspector it will show you that it will show you how many components this particular game object has. So with our main camera we have transform and camera component. We also have these other components, and but in this video part we are going to talk about this transform component. So what a transform component is, basically um, it handles or it manages the position, rotation, and the scaling of a game object. Okay, so for example, if we have this cube and we want to change its position, we'll do that through our by this transform component, because this is the component which handles its position. Okay, it handles its position along x-axis, along y-axis, along z-axis. Okay, and this is the space, 3D space in which it has some position. Currently this cube is at origin, where our x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis are all 0. Okay, but we can change its position by simply we have actually two methods of changing its position when we are working in this scene. The first one is use this move tool and click and drag these gizmos. Okay, so this will change its position. Okay, and the other method to change its position is by writing the position in here. So let's say I write 1 1 1. So the box is moved at x 1 at 1 unit on x-axis, 1 unit on y-axis, and 1 unit on z-axis. Okay, we can use these two methods to change its position. Okay, but this video part is not about changing its position in under inspector. We will be changing its position, or we will be accessing any game objects transform via a script, via a program, because when we are making a game, we will be usually moving our characters around, our game objects around, like you have seen um, in several games where you have some characters, and those characters move when you hit specific keys on your keyboard. Okay, when you hit specific keys on your keyboard, um, those those characters move. So The purpose of this video is to explain you that how we will access transform component of any game object to move it around, to rotate it in any axis, or to scale it, just like that. Just like we can do that scaling under scene window here, we can also do this scaling by using that a script, because when our user is playing the game, he won't be doing scalings or moving um, with his mouse just like we are doing here in our scene. He will be using some controls to move it around, and that we do through coding. So for that, I have created a script, very simple script, which I called transform. And I'm going to show you two different methods of doing the same thing here to access the transform component of a game object, um, using two different methods. The first method is use this game object class or object, and use the dot operator to use its transform component, and then another dot to use its position, and another dot to uh, reach the x value of it. Okay, so this is your game object dot transform dot position dot x. This will give you your transform, your game object's x position, and then you can later you can change its position by adding some values to it, to its x position. Okay, in this video part we're just showing you about how you can access that value, and you will and we will display that value under console. Okay, but later on we'll be changing those, adding values in it, subtracting values, and based on user inputs we will be moving around our game objects. So the first method is just write this line, and it will give you your transforms position. Okay, but for this line to work, you need to attach this transform to every single game object which you want which you want um, to change its position. Okay, let's say if there are 10 game objects here, and I want to change all of those game objects positions. So what I will do, I will drag and drop this script on each of those game objects, and then when I will play that game, it will be changing, or it will be showing us all of those game objects positions here. Okay, and that's what I have done here. I have attached this script to main camera, and when I will play it, it will alert me its x position. Let's change its x position to, let's say, 12, and we'll test it in a bit. Now the second method is where I have to declare a public game object variable. I have to create an object from game object class, and then by writing this line, public game object, my game object, I have created an object of type game object, and now it's visible here. As you can see here, I have written this line and attached my script to this main camera, and this thing pops up. this thing appears. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to drag and drop that game object of which position or rotation or scale I want to change or I want to know. Okay, drag and drop it in here, and then we'll use this line where I'm using my game object dot transform dot position dot x, and this will return me the x value of my game object which I have dragged and dropped here. Okay, now let's go ahead and play it and see what we get. And yeah, let's go ahead and see. Okay, this this thing, this alert is coming from this script, variable script, while this line, this alert is coming from this line, and this alert is coming from this line. So you can see here we will be having multiple ways of doing a same thing. Okay, we will have more than one ways to do the same thing. Now it's up to us which method we choose. Sometimes this method does the job for us better than this one, and sometimes this method does the job better than this one. Okay, like if we have 100 game objects here, and we want to do something with their transform, like we want to change their rotation or scale or position, what we will do, we'll attach our script with only one game object, and we'll make an array of game objects and put all those game objects in that array. Okay, and this way we will have more control over them. Also, because the script is attached to only single variable, only single component, or calculation will be less, I assume. Okay, so yeah, so there are more methods of doing same thing. For now you're thinking that this is very simple script and it's of no use, but I trust me, and I promise you, this piece of code which I have written and I explained will help you a lot in in building very awesome games, because everything in Unity is based on game objects and transform, and we have learned to control that in this video part. I hope you liked it, and keep watching my videos. Do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. See you next time.